You make sure it's recording. In case recording. It said that Monday too, but it wasn't. So I know you guys just saw me marking this up just now. All I'm doing was just going through my charts and seeing what I see and seeing what I have. Now, what's funny about this, yeah, I know I'm starting off in the middle of a sentence right now, or middle of a markup. I was drawing this little Gartley pattern right here. I'll erase it though because it's not that important. You see I have a big old cipher right here. See this big cipher right here? Waiting on price to drop down. Now, on the flip side of that, we have, this is USD CAD. My pink zone on this cipher, I want to say I dropped this on Monday too. This cipher is still legit. Very, very much legit. Now, the cipher is ghosted out because the cipher is not too important right now. Let me grab this chat over here. The cipher is not too important right now. But what is important is this little Gartley that was in the middle that it's kind of ugly. This is actually a head and shoulders. Okay, so head and shoulders, this is actually like a triple bottom right here. This is a funky looking pattern, but there was one here in the middle. If I fib here, this is my hypothetical X to my A. For you guys who don't know harmonics, all harmonics have an XA, XA, B, C, and a D. Let me make this unbold. This is X. I'm just doing this quick little markup for you because the Gartley is not that important right now. It's always important, but it's not that important right now for the grand scheme of what we're doing today. But as of right now, I'm going to show you guys what I see, so you guys can see what the hell I'm talking about. Emphasis on the and the hell, so you guys know what the heck I'm talking about. Where's my B at? There's B. Okay. Now, C. This one right here is funky because it's definitely if your eyes aren't really trained to see this, you might see this and mess it up and be like, what the hell is going on here? But I got y'all. I'm gonna get y'all right. This is the B. And actually, I want to say I probably grabbed not from up here at the highest peak. I grabbed this from down here. They're probably wondering, okay, why the heck would you grab from right there? It's in the middle of a move on an impulse leg. Because on the 15-minute chart where I first saw this at, you see this, you guys see this little like hitch right here? This hitch in this giddy up? This is by itself as an impulse. This is an impulse down right here. This little area right yonder. Oh, that's the wrong color. I used the money zone box right there. That by itself is the impulse. Now, yes, technically, this is all part of the same move, but I prefer to grab from this point of right here because I feel this is the real jump off of this impulse down. So with that, I'm looking at this like, okay, I can either grab from up here and see what I got or grab from right here and see what I got. I like this point more. Now, honestly, I heard Ray say this a long time ago, and I feel the same way. A lot of times, these moves are up to your discretion. It's like, what do you see on it? Now, the way I trade the Gartley, the way my entry zone on the Gartley is, this second point lines up more. Now, you're probably wondering why and what the heck am I talking about? I have this thing called the money zone on my Gartley patterns. This is Gartley pattern on my hat. I have this thing called the money zone that's Gartley pattern, and the best way for me to find this is if I grab from the correct point. Now, there's no, I can't say there's no right or wrong, because there definitely is a right or wrong in doing this, but there's no perfect point to grab from. So someone might come in here, someone's gonna come in here and be like, you know what? I want all this right here in my impulse leg. And I see that and I'm like, nah, I want none of that. I don't want none of that. Now, so the way I do this, I don't know that I'm about to mute everybody out real quick though, the quickness. Everybody getting muted. And also, if you guys have any questions along the way, definitely drop them in the chat. But so I grabbed from right here on this Gartley pattern. I want to say I dropped this on Monday. I just didn't finish drawing it. But so I have my, let me run this real quick. This price was like somewhere over here. Price was like this. It was like over here somewhere. And I saw this. I was like, okay, it's like a little Gartley forming up. But it made this third leg, this little third piece right here, which is fine. Again, like I said, this is kind of a funky one that could possibly be messed up if you don't grab from the right spot. So your impulse leg is right here, X to A. This is my X to A. This is my A to B. My B point, I'm looking for it to come back to 618. You see my 618 right here. Price came back to it. It barely wicked it, but it came back to it. And that's all that matters, is that it came back to it. So now that I have that information, I have my C, which is right here. Now you're probably wondering, okay, this 2 points, the C right here and the C right there. Now this is C. This one is the lowest one, so this is my C right here. And from that information, just me doing this one fib from X to A. Oh, let me grab this real quick. From my X to my A, I can now see that, okay, my A86 is my first point for my money zone. It's right here. So I'm looking for price to at least get in this zone. Now, one thing to remember also, when you have a harmonic pattern or a head and shoulders, I'm gonna cover head and shoulders heavily on this. Head and Shoulders, a cipher, a bat, a Gartley, it doesn't matter. All these lines on my chart play a role. Now I know some people love this good old thing where they come here and the chart's just blank and they be like, you know what, my chart's blank. I'm gonna just draw a pattern on here and this pattern's gonna go regardless. That sounds good and all, but how I feel is when you have more information, you can really see what's going on. Like you can zoom out and be like, all right, I see this point, I see this level. You then have a kind of a guideline of where price could be going at. So by me drawing this pattern up like this, I know that. Let me draw my second point, which is going to go from B to C real quick. Before I finish my sentence, B to C, 1272 is right here. So my money zone is between 1272 of B to C and 886 of X to A, right there. Let me make this money spot. Oh no, that's a hot spot. Money zone, bam. So if I'm gonna hide this pink box behind it because it's getting on my nerves. Too much colors going on here. Out of here. So now that I have this, I can now draw my pattern, which is going to be X to A to B, B to C, C to D. Now, with drawing your pattern like this, what you have is a minimum zone, which your closest zone to your C, how I draw this up, your closest zone, be it 886 or be it 1272, that's your quote unquote aggressive entry, but that's usually your safer entry because price will more than likely hit that point. Now, if price goes to the second point, be it 1272 or 886, depending on how this thing lines up, that's your second entry. Like I said, one's aggressive, one non-aggressive, but I usually get into both of them. So I'm just gonna put a sell line right here real quick. So I can erase some of this crap off of this thing. Sell line and a sell line. Bam. So now I can erase all these freaking fibs on here because there's way too much fibs, way too much lines. Delete, delete. Now, what I have right here, this is a 4-hour trend line. By me knowing that that's right there, I know that if price was to do something like this push up here and blow straight past these points and go up here, I know that's a chance of it happening. Why is that? This dotted line is a 4-hour level of resistance. This gold diagonal line is a 4-hour level of resistance. So there's a high chance price can go up there. So I'm not going to freak out if price goes up there and close it out too early. So let this joint play out. Let me see what happened. Where's my play button? There it goes. Bam. Yeah, spike. No, so right now, price is in the zone. You have entry number one, you could have entered right there. And entry number two, entered up there. So let's play, see what happened. Price came right to entry number two and dropped down to what would have been take profit. Now, take profit on this one, I tell you guys all the time, guaranteed take profit is back to B. So this could be your guaranteed take profit right here, back to B. Where's it at? That's the wrong thing. I'm looking for this right here. Take profit, bam, back to B. That's your guaranteed take profit. Now, what I would do my second take profit on this one is made it right here at this daily level. Why is that? Because it's a strong level right there. Let me make this nice and thick so you guys can see it. That's a strong level. So I might even make take profit one right there. But your guaranteed take profit is back to B on the Gartley, like guaranteed, because that's usually your last level, major level of support. But in this one, you had this little peak right here in the middle. So let me keep on playing this out and see what happened. Don't worry, take your time. Take your time. Look how much that zone for that sell area was respected. That's a lot of respect right there. Price came there 1, 2, 3 times and went back to take profit 1, 2, 3 times. So that multiple times you could have been getting pips on this with at the most 9 pips of drawdown and 40 pips of profit. That's a pretty good risk to reward right there. But what I was drawing when you guys first came on here was a bigger Gartley. So I'm actually going to ghost this one right here out. I just moved on nice and just now. I need to start locking these in place. Let me lock you. Now let me ghost you. Expired pattern. Bam. So now that's ghosted out. What I was doing was coming in here. I was drawing a second pattern, which will be, oops, I didn't do that. Oh, well, that pattern doesn't matter too much. It's already gone anyway. I'm going to erase this stuff too. You guys saw the pattern. I'm erasing all this. You guys saw what it was. It doesn't matter. That pattern is dead. So what I was doing when you guys came in here is I look for M formations. Now, I know you guys see that M formation right there in front of you guys, which is right. I'm all over the place right now. All over the place. You right here, just a bar. You guys see this M formation right here forming up? What are you doing? What are you doing to me for? You embarrass me in front of my friends. Right there, information forming up right there. Now, this can either be a bat or a Gartley just off the rip of looking at it. Your hypothetical C point is not higher than your A point. Now, how I know this, you guys thought I just fibbed this out for this other point. So I know that this is near the 886 area already. So I already know that already. Now, again, this goes on where, depending on where you're grabbing your X point from. Your X point on this one can be grabbed from here or from right here. Now you're wondering, okay, why the heck are there two different spots? I mean, technically, you can grab that joint from right here too. Technically, but see, it goes impulse, consolidation, impulse. This one is just like impulse gap, and then consolidation, and then the move. So you technically can grab from either of them spots. I'm probably on this one, probably going to grab from this point right here, from this point, or this point, just for the sake of keeping my sanity. One of these 2 points, the purple or the pink one. They look pretty close, but I'm gonna grab this joint from the pink one though. Just so like it looks cleaner to me. And again, a lot of times these moves is up to your discretion of where you grab from. Because yes, technically this is a 15-minute chart. So in a 15-minute, I see that this pushes up in the consolidation. But the higher time frame I go to, it's gonna look a little bit different. So right now on the 4 hour, that gap is still right there. You see it? So it's like a separate impulse right there. That's hard for me to say. That is a separate impulse right there. So I mean, that's an impulse up, consolidation for a while, impulse up again. So by me seeing this, even on this 4 hour, I'm grabbing from this pink point because it looks sexier to me. So I'm going fib from the bottom to the top, the rooter to the tutor, the bottom to the top. Let me unbold this black line right here real quick. And so again, same letters, X right here. Well, hypothetical X, and I say hypothetical because you never know what it is. X right here at this first point, A up top. I'm on a struggle bus today for real. Y'all don't judge me. I'm definitely on a struggle bus. XA, control, down to B. Price is past 618, but not to 786. I'm 618 right here, but it's not to 786. I'm good to go. Price never hit any of that. So just for the sake of teaching, I'm flipping from A to B to get my C. Price is in my C zone, which is 618 to 618 to 1. You see it's all in the middle there. It's right at 786. I'm good to go. I can now erase it so there ain't too many fibs on here. I let you guys know also, for the most part, I usually don't even end up fibbing that A to B because I can just eyeball it and see that price is not up there by A and it's not super shallow. Now, don't listen to me and then go in there and be like, I don't need to fib no C. Make sure your C is in that right zone from at least 618 to 1. I prefer when price is from 618 to 886. Ideally, 786 to 886. Because what that tells me is that 786 or 886, there's a higher chance of it turning around than if it's at 618. Because if it's at 618, it's not at a strong zone. There's a high chance it can push higher. My example of that is on this one right here too. If I fib this one more time, ignore the big fib, look at the little fib. Price did come to 618 before. You see right here? It came to, there's too much lines going on, hold on. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna erase this first big fib. I don't wanna confuse you guys, there's so much lines on here. I'm gonna drop this line real quick and let me put buy number 1 so I know where to go at. I'm gonna erase this first fib real quick. Because there's too much lines. This is way too many lines. So now that I have that, see my buy line, this is my 886 for my of my X to A. Now looking at this, back to me drawing an arrow again, you guys will see that price initially pushed up to 618. You see right there? It was there, it wicked it, dropped back down. It came close to the 786, but see, if I would have been like, you know what? It's at 618, I'm gonna sell from C to D. I prefer it to go to that 886, 786 zone. So you see it pushed up higher. So this whole time you'd have been negative for no reason. You could have just waited till it got up here and then see what happens. See, price came right to 786 and then it dropped back down again. Now, on the flip side of this whole move, price is actually on top of a daily level, which is this black zone right here. So, and price is actually waking off of it. It might push up a little bit higher before it makes that drop. NFP is tomorrow morning. If you guys don't know what NFP is, it is usually one of the biggest trading days in the month, and it's the first Friday every month, unless the first Friday falls, it's like the first day of the month, and then make it the second Friday. But for the most part, it's the first Friday of every month. And so it's going to affect the US dollar and gold heavily. So now that I have this information and I know that my B is not, my B is in my right zone, I can now graph from my lowest point of B to my highest point of C. Looking for that 1272, which is right here. So that's my second buy zone. So you put buy. Now, this definitely was not part of the plan to do this, but I saw it, so I figured I might as well show you what the heck I'm talking about. So now that I have that buy zone right there, aka my money zone, I can draw my whole pattern, which is going to go X to A to B, B to C, C to D. Now, what I like about this move is, let me make this nice and, what I like about this move is that price, I keep on saying you're like up north or something. There you go. Your D point entry is at a 4-hour level of support right here. Bam, that's a 4-hour level of support right there. So what that's telling me is that that's a pretty strong zone. You see how price came down close to it before and rejected? So what that's telling me that if price comes down here again, what's going to happen is it's going to come down here again. And since this is such a strong zone, look at that rejections right there. Rejection, 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 all this resistance, then right here with support. There's a high chance it can hit this and then turn around. So like I said, we don't know the future exactly, but we have high probability moves that are coming that can happen. So something like this can happen, and then it still might make its way down like that and finish this giant pattern off. Because the big pattern is still legit. I usually only sell the C to the D on a cipher pattern. And on my Gartley, I'm looking for that D entry for sure, and 7 years ago. So now that I have that, and now I'll show you guys that on this raggedy chart, you guys see what the heck I'm talking about. And this is what I was doing when you guys first came here. It only took me 15 minutes to explain it. Someone actually dropped this in the group chat. Copy, and that only took long enough. And Ray says, anyone else's trading view acting funny? Nah, mine is fine. So now that I'm done with that, I'm actually on here today to show you guys head and shoulders, but that's how my eyes work. I'll come on here and see something I wasn't even looking for, and I'd be like, okay, let me just see what's going on here in this general area. What I came here to show you guys today is this good old head and shoulders action, which happens a whole lot, and I'm not talking about trading lots. I'm gonna show you guys before on a class that not every pattern wins. Look at this. This joint got blown through, but before it got blown through, it still made some pips on here. Let me show you guys how that even happened. This wasn't a major pip move, but what I just tell you guys like 2 seconds ago, take profit, guaranteed take profit on the Gartley pattern. If it's going to dip, is where at? Back to B. Look where B is at. Look what price on that. This is my B line. So this is my guaranteed take profit right there. If I can bump it down a little bit. So right to the end of that little red wick right there. I'm looking over here, by the way. Look where price came at. So even though all this would have been negative, maybe for the most part, your guaranteed take profit would have got hit. So you still would have, you might not got like major pips on this, but guess what happened? Back to B it went. That's still 23 pips. And you came off in negative 0%. As long as you secure that bag on that first take profit, you good. Because again, you might find a pattern, but just know that if it's going bang, it's banging back to B regardless. And that's a little hack you guys can use. And I know I say that a lot on all my classes when I talk about a Gartley pattern, but that's like the hack for it, because this is your last level of support right here. You see that? Look at all this empty space right here. There's nothing right there. It's empty space. This is empty space. But then when price made that high point in the middle, that is your last point of resistance. And look how it respected again on the left. Hold it real quick. Let me make a brighter box. Right here. Look at that respect on that same zone right there. And right there. Respecting that zone. So you know that guaranteed take profit. I'm even going back and looking at this crap. Well, not this crap, but looking at this information on the left. You see that price is going to come back there because that's your last level of resistance. So that's your guaranteed take profit on Gartley. Remember that. I know you can fib and get your take profits also, but if you want that guarantee is going to be back to B. And then, fibbing is fine though, but that guarantee is going to be back to B. So on a higher time frame, it looks like he would have lost this, but on the 15-minute, which is drawn on, you see that price went right back to B and then took off. No need to be upside down trying to be greedy. Get them 20 pips and get out of here. Matter of fact, another pattern on here too. It looks like it. Let me go back to 15-minute real quick. Let me see. I just want to see something real quick. I'm getting off subject. There's a pattern right here in the middle. Look at this. It's spread out though, but it's there. Let me see something. I just want to see something real quick. This is a bat. If I drop this down, let me see where he's at. Around the accent just now. Yeah, it was actually a perfect bat right there. When I say perfect, I mean your X to your A to your B, your B to your C to 886 entry. And this joint barely, when I say barely, I mean barely tapped 886 and dropped off, hitting all them take profits on the way down. Yeah, that was a perfect bat right there. I see Ray just dropped something in the chat just now too. Some chairman speaking, Jason Brown's talking. But see his head and shoulders, I wrote them down. AUD USD. Let me look on here real quick. This class ain't gonna be extensive, so I got y'all. I'm trying to get on through because the head and shoulders ain't that advanced of a thing to learn, but it's a money making tool. And I ain't talking about an iron product. I'm just talking about in general. It's a money making tool that you can spot yourself. Now, the reason why I have this big old area in this block right here is for a reason. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I know you guys probably see it right here off the rip. And this is how you can get in on the head and shoulders pretty easy. Some guys trade a head and shoulder differently than me. But we ain't talking about what they do. We're talking about how I do this. And so how I do this is the straight up, straightforward way on doing this head and shoulders. And what this is that's definitely not correct English, but it does not matter. You guys know what I'm talking about. You see a formation like this, right? This is kind of telegraphing you what's to come. So I pre-marked this chart up with this 4-hour level of support right here. Well, a resistance right here, real quick. Let me actually type on this. I'm gonna type 4-hour. 4-hour resistance. I don't feel like spelling. Now I'll put this on the right, on the top, on the right, and make it a little bit bigger, and make you dark. There you go. 4-hour resistance. Bam. Now, right here, I'm gonna copy this. Now, it won't always be this clean, but this one pretty clean, so you're gonna rock with this one right here. We're gonna do the same thing right here. Orange. I had this on 14 just now. It's in the wrong spot. Thanks a lot. I spelled res wrong. I spelled the abbreviation wrong. To the right, to the top. Bam. So you guys see these two zones right here, right? Now, there's a green line in the middle. I'm not going to draw on it, but this is a 1-hour level of support or / resistance. They all go hand in hand. They're the same thing. Now, with this head and shoulder, this is a pretty easy move you guys can see coming. What you see happen is price will, I'm going to drop a line down here at the bottom real quick just so you guys see what the heck I'm talking about. We're in a 4-hour time frame anyway. Price will come from a point, make a head, make a shoulder, make a shoulder, make a head, make a shoulder, and then go back to where it came from. Why do that for? I don't know. I mean, I'm not some kind of genius about trading. I just know what price does. So you see how price came up here, hit this resistance, broke, retested it. Now this is the new level of support. So this old resistance right here became support in the future. I know this is basic stuff, but this head and shoulders moves based heavily off of that. So just from having this half information, I see that, okay, price went stupid high in the middle. It might not always go this high or look this perfect, but that is a head nonetheless. So that's that is your left shoulder. Then this is the head right here. And then you see a right shoulder forming up. Now, if you're running all these purple arrows, if you're wondering what the heck the right shoulder is usually equal. It might be a little bit lower or a little bit higher, but it's usually equal. The reason why I use this one as an example is because this setup was so freaking perfect on here with this 4-hour level of resistance right here and this 4-hour level of support right here. That just makes the setup so much easier, and especially how it played out. So by me seeing just this information right here, I can go in here and I can draw my head and shoulders out. Give her some of the arrows real quick. I can go in here and draw my head and shoulders out because we see the future over here. might not know it perfectly. We ain't as clear over here, but we know the future a little bit. So we can draw left shoulder, back to support, head, and then we got the, oh, it's not lined up, right shoulder, which is generally in this general area right here. So at the end of this, what we're expecting to happen is price to, there you go, some head and shoulders action. I'm actually going to erase this box now because it's not important anymore. What we're expecting price to do on this is go down here, like break this support and keep on going back to where it came from. So at this point, you can kind of draw this in advance and be like, okay, I see what's trying to happen here. And again, no move in trading is guaranteed, because sometimes you might see this and be like, oh, I got this, and it don't play out. And it do like that sometimes. You can have all the analysis and know all the stuff and read all the books and have all of everything, and you still can take an L. I tell people all the time, only thing guaranteed as traders is you're gonna take a loss. But look at that, bam, look at that. I want to say I dropped this to you guys in the chat long ago when this has happened. This is back in January. So I'm 99% sure I dropped this in the chat at some point before it was happening. And you see what happened. Price broke support and went back to where it came from. So take profit on this would have been at least right here to this point. Too many of the same line, hold up. Take profit would have been, try this again, at least right there. Why? I'll move up a little bit, probably right here. Why is that? Because this is technically the point where this came from. Now the major point where this came from is this. It could be your second take profit right here. But you see why this first point is your guaranteed take profit on this, because this is kind of like the jump off point where this came from right here. So that's your first one. Now you don't have to get into this up here. I mean, it's nice if you do, but you don't have to. That's 80 pips, but you don't have to get in up there. Let this thing do what it's going to do, because sometimes what happens is price gets a little squirrely. You'd be like, oh, it's forming the right shoulder. Next thing price will start being like, nope, I'm not. Gotcha. No, when they get you, you're negative now. So with this, you can do a pending order. This is probably the most time where you probably end up doing a sell stop or a buy stop, because the head and shoulders doesn't have to just be this way. They also have inverted head and shoulders. And again, the reason why I had this box squared off is because on this one, on a smaller time frame, there's actually an inverted one here too that I drew up alongside it with a pattern, and it blew straight past my pattern. But so I don't know if you guys see it or not, but this was not the prettiest head and shoulders at all. I'm gonna ghost this one here out real quick. I'm just gonna hide you. So same thing. Not sure you guys can be inverted, right? Look at this inverted head and shoulders right here. Same thing. This ain't the sexiest one, but it's there. Look at this level of support it came to. So this would be my first shoulder. What am I doing? It's not just the wrong tool. Okay, bam, try this again. It came there, left shoulder. Head. Now this head ain't perfect point, but you see it has that high peak. And then it didn't come all the way back down to support, but it still made another point that equaled up. I say, don't have to be perfect, but you see that head and shoulders right there. And this is where price came from. Look where price went. And that was your guaranteed move right there. Price came back to that point, and then it decided, you know what? I'm going to turn up, and it turned up straight past that. Now the rest of this, I mean, there's no guarantee you're going to be in this for the rest of this. But what you did have here is that price hit that minimum point right there and then turned around. So you've been in good regardless, just because price came there and did that. And I know the head and shoulders tool is showing that here's a gap right here, but it's a head and shoulders nonetheless. Everything will be perfect and pretty like that big one was. And that's even with any harmonic pattern or any pattern in general. Nothing's going to be perfect. It's just about training your eyes to see it. Because on this one, I want to say I actually had a cipher drawn up first, and then that was a head and shoulders there. Now price is going to respect one of these two patterns. And what happened was it disrespected that cipher and respected that head and shoulders. And the cipher was right, let me see, that was X to A right there. Let me see something real quick, like, yep. So that's my cipher right there. Let me, now that I have that, erase, get off there. I don't know why I do that for. I don't know why I go back and erase instead of just pressing back, same difference. And this right here, see 786 entry. I don't know if you guys don't know the cipher, don't worry about it, doesn't matter. I'm just showing you guys what I saw. This was the cipher pattern right here on this. And entry for the selling cipher is right here. Let me make basic cipher. Oh, that's actually a Gartley. Basic cipher right there. And you see how price blew straight past that cipher. No respect at all. It's straight disrespecting that cipher. Like you might have made all this movement up, you might have made, what was that, 10 pips of profit, and then this joint went off. So you'd have been negative. You'd have been mad. Double up on the mad, because that's what would happen. You would definitely been mad. But you see this big head and shoulders forming after that. Euro CHF. Let me look real quick. This is another good example of a head and shoulders on this one too. And where is it at? Let me zoom out. Oh, here you go. Yeah, I found this very small box in the middle. So now I'm gonna go here. Look at that cipher went off. Remember when I drilled on class? Joint went off. Right here. Same thing happened. I know you guys see it off the rip. Now, I know you guys should be able to see this just that quick from me talking about it. Now, let me erase the box off of here. If I keep the box on here, I just make the middle translucent. Bam. So you guys can stay in the box. But you see, price came up. It found support. And it formed a head and shoulders. It made a, I did it again, didn't I? It made a left shoulder, came back to support, made a head. It's a little Batman action. You got two peaks on it, doesn't matter. Made a head on there, back to support, made a right shoulder. And then what did the price do? Price went right back to where it came from. That's your head and shoulders. Price came right back to where it came from. So your guaranteed money on this one would have been right here. Why is that so purple for? There you go. And take profit. Right there. So that's your guaranteed money move right there. You see price came right back to where it came from. Making life way easier. I said this move is so simple. Now in the middle of this, while like also this one, I had two patterns on. I had this head and shoulders, and I also had, I want to say it was a Gartley on here. Let me see. Yep. And look where your Gartley entry is at. Look at that 886 right there. You guys probably know what the heck I'm talking about. I don't know if you saw this fast. I just saw it. But yeah, look at that. 1272 and 886 in the same spot. Meeting together. So you got your X to A to B, B to C, C to D at 886 right here. So let me make this the right color for this Gartley. Bam. I know it's jumbled up. Hold up. And just that quick. Look at that. Even if you didn't see the head and shoulders, you see the Gartley right here in the middle. So the Gartley would have showed you, okay, price is going to push up at the end. And they're like, okay, this is forming the head and shoulders. So you'd have money both ways. You could have been like, all right, I got money going up. Little hot, little 20 pips. This is a small pattern. Price actually came to a level of, actually hit this trend line and turned around. It's so much information in this one picture right here. You guys don't even understand, because I trade Harmonics. I do trade head and shoulders, and I trade price action. It's so much stuff that I incorporate together into this one way I trade. It's just, once you start learning stuff and seeing it like on your own or recognizing these basic moves, the advanced moves will be like, oh, I see how this works. So let me, for instance, I'm gonna ghost this joint out real quick. Not ghost, I'm gonna make it a little bit lighter. No, that's too light. I made this a little bit lighter too, just so it ain't all the way there. There you go. All the way light. So you guys see that. I'll show you all the information I have on this real quick. So every green line you see was based off this black trend line coming down. I know I talk about trend lines heavily on Monday for you guys on my session, but you see all the respect on this trend line. I'm sure you guys how to compound some knowledge into one move. You still can get it over and over. So look at the respect on this trend line over and over and over. This is stuff in the future, blah, 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 doesn't matter. Look at all the respect on this trend line, right? This black trend line has been hitting right there for a minute. So you see that trend line right there, respect, right? So I made that trend line. I probably made this after this, but just look at the respect. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Just look real quick. Just follow me for like 2 seconds. Back over here. I'm too far to the right. Let me keep on going to the left, to the left, to the left. So look at all this trend line respect, right? All this respect of this trend line going on. So let me get rid of all these rectangles I just drew. Don't need you now. I'm just trying to show you guys an example. So now you have trend lines coming up, coming down, going everywhere. They're all going the same angle, about the same space from each other. Someone asked me before, was this pitchforks? It's not pitchforks, but it kind of works the same, except this is all trend line action. So example on how the trend line is respected on this one too. So you have a Gartley pattern, you have a head and shoulders. That's two kind of advanced things, You have your level of support right here. But what you also got is, look at these trend lines. Let me make this nice and thick real quick. Trend line and a trend line. We have a bread and butter move happening on this. You got your good old rejection of a trend line right there. That was the pop off of the right shoulder on this head and shoulders. You also have a break, and what's actually a break and retest right there, and a rejection. Break, retest, and rejection. You have a respect of a trend line again. And it shows you how price, again, comes back to, because when price finally got on top of this trend line, what did it do? It went right to another trend line, which happened to be this blue line, which is another level of support. I know I'm making this sound really, really simple, but it actually is just that simple. I woke up this morning, went to the gym at like 4:30, right? And I was thinking of a way to compare, keeping things simple and just using your knowledge that you know and winning. And my analogy I thought of was, good barbecue does not need barbecue sauce. You guys are talking, this fat dude over here talking about food. Yes, I am talking about food. Because good barbecue does not need barbecue sauce. And what that means is that, yes, you can add anything extra you want to think that the thing's going to help you win more. You can add anything extra you want to. You can add extra sauce. You can deep fry the ribs. But if that barbecue is good, it don't need nothing extra. You eat it straight off the grill if you want to, because good barbecue does not need extra sauce on it. It doesn't need sauce at all. So if these price action moves and these harmonic patterns are working together, and these trend lines and support and resistance are working together, why would you then need more confirmation? You have like 8 things to confirm right there. Because again, when your strategy is good, you don't need extra sauce on top of it. Just let it do what it's going to do regardless. So that's my fat man comparison right there. Oops. That's my fat man comparison right there. I'm talking about ribs. I'm talking about trading. Because good barbecue does not need sauce. Be it chicken, ribs, fish, whatever it is. You don't need no extra sauce to it. Trading is only as hard as you make it. So let me scroll to the right. I had another pair. I had USD CHF. It should be a red square here somewhere. For instance, look at this. I want to say this chart is naked except for this pattern on here and the few lines that I actually drew this up on class before too. Look at that entry. I did draw some class. I drew some class a couple of weeks ago. This had to be, a couple of weeks ago. February 10th is when it's finished. But I probably drew this up like the first week of February. And what I saw on this was, I got on class and I told everyone, I said I would not get into this trade until price breaks this blue line. Now, you probably wondering, okay, how the heck would he know price is going to break the blue line? Or needs to break the blue line? Because the blue line, see these blue arrows are at? The blue line is the last level under this little support right here. And again, this is just me using knowledge based on what I already know from the left. The past telling me the future. That price had a little struggle getting through that blue line. It's like when price gets to this blue line, I'm selling this joint. So therefore, you would have been negative at the most, 16 pips. And then price proceeded to go take profit 27 pips, and then fall off the face of the earth, which currently is at 355 pips. So I mean, you would have made off on that. You'd have ran off on the plug easy on that one. Where the heck is his head and shoulders at on here? So I know it's on here somewhere. Did I put a box on it? Did I box it off? Oh, I guess I didn't. This is USD CHF. I don't know where this box is at on here, where I had this head and shoulders at. I'm looking, I'm seeing W's, I'm seeing M's, I'm seeing all kind of stuff on here, but I don't see this head and shoulders that I have on here. Where the heck was it at? Looking. I just look on here. I want to say I drew on this one too. Let me see. USD CHF, where is it at? This is my old one. There you go. Oh, I never drew this one. There you go. This was another example of this is a little funky head and shoulders right here. And this head and shoulders, it happened. Price came from a point. You see it right here. Price came from a point, and then it got on top of here, and it made this point first. So this point right here might have threw some people off if looking at this, but it's still at the end of the day just made a left shoulder, a head, a matching right shoulder, and went back to where it came from. Like it's literally just that simple what it did. I know you guys might be looking at this cipher on the left, like, hey, this cipher lost. That cipher actually won also, because look at this wick right here. Look at that. Like, look at that wick right there. That is price going to take profit right there. Skyrocketing to take profit. And again, like I said, trading is only as hard as you make it. You can learn everything under the sun, everything about candle formations. I know something about candle formations, but I don't care about them because they don't matter that much in the grand scheme of things. One of the points in trading patterns, the way that we trade patterns, is that either the pattern is going to complete at entry or it's not going to. Either you're going to win or you're going to lose. But the plus side is you don't have to sit there and wait for a candle to finish or see what this candle is going to do. Because honestly, when I was trying to incorporate candlestick formation and stuff into my trading, it was making me look at more stuff and then lose more trades. Because then I started faking myself out by not knowing, okay, dang, this candle is doing a morning star, this candle is doing whatever, and blah, blah, blah. Yes, a candle will show you when price is starting to turn around. But if you have a harmonic pattern, you already know where price is going to turn around at anyway. Why do these candles formations matter? It don't matter. It's going to turn, either it's going to flip at your D entry or it's not. So yes, candlestick formations can tell you information, but you don't need to know that stuff. It's certain stuff you don't have to stress yourself out over. Now, I'm telling you that as an example because I've been winning a lot of trades with just using these patterns. And what's crazy too is I want to say last summer, not last summer, it might have been last August to October. I 90% of my trades, I only put the Gartley on it. And the reason why I did that is just to show to people on my team that you can learn one pattern and win a lot. And I still was winning like 80 to 85% of my trades with just one pattern, like literally just the Gartley pattern. Because I used the example before of the SAT. I took the SAT for college 2 times. My first time I had a calculator, I got like a 1080. My second time I went to go take it, I left my calculator home and I got a higher score by 200 points on the math part. And you're probably thinking, okay, how the heck did that happen? It's not because I was smarter. It's because I was not trying to answer questions that I didn't have the ability to answer. Same thing when you train on harmonic patterns. If you're just looking for a certain pattern, and if things ain't meeting your parameters on that pattern, don't take it. It's no harm, no foul. That's basically what it is. Like you can do better by not trying to force something than you can forcing it. Some people are like, oh, I think it's a pattern here. Let me try to force this. Don't try to force it. If it ain't meeting your parameters, don't even do it. Like don't even worry about it. Keeping it real simple. So like I said, you come in here, you can learn all the candlestick formation and stuff you want and read all the books in the world, but it ain't gonna make no difference in the grand scheme of things. And with that being said, what time is it? 8:40. I was talking for 40 minutes. I was trying to make this class shorter and not be a whole hour and some change. But if you guys have any questions, I'm gonna hop off here. But if you do have a question, let me know before I do hop off here and mute myself real quick because Ray is calling me right now. Where is my mute button? Where my settings at? What's going on? What is going on here? Oh, there it is. If you guys have any question, unmute yourself. You can ask it too, by the way. So if you guys will have no questions, I will see y'all in the group chat. And if you do have a question, just ask me in the group chat and I'll make sure I make it happen. Remember, good barbecue, don't need no sauce. I will holler at y'all on the next one.